and welcome to Southern Maine Community College. My name is Amy Lee, and I'm here with one of our students, Liz McCabe Park, and we are here to talk to you about SMCC and me preparing for spring enrollment at Southern Maine Community College. So Liz, welcome.
Thank you.
I'd love to hear a little bit about what brought you to SMCC.
Sure. I was at home. I'd had a career already, but I needed to take some time off to care for elderly relatives and sick relatives, and was trying to figure out what's next. And while I was doing that, I was involved in some community projects, one of which needed a website and an app. So I decided to come back to school to learn how to create a website and an app, and that's how I ended up here.
That's exciting. We do have many students who are what we call non-traditional aged, which means they're just not right out of high school. Many, thousands actually, have previous bachelor degrees, some even master's degrees, or previous college credits, and then decide to change careers, and SMCC is really the perfect place to do that. What are some of the things that drew you to choose our school? Was it our programs, our costs?
All of those things. So first I was just kind of Googling and trying to see how I could learn how to do web design. And there's a lot of online ways to do that, but I really needed the interaction with other people and with other students. And in Southern Maine, there's really the best places to do it are here and at York County Community College. And York County Community College focuses more on coding, and they focus more on design here, so that's why I decided to come here. But also because it is inexpensive, and it's near to home, and then once I was here, there are like a gazillion reasons to stay.
Well, we really love to hear that. Affordability is one of the biggest reasons SMCC is the smart choice. We're only $94 a credit hour, and an entire year of tuition and fees is only $3,800. So it's really an affordable option for students. Not only might be looking to come back to school, but to come to school for the first time. We had a student reach out to us today who was very nervous, single mother in her 40s, had never been to college, and was really looking for some information if we would be a good place for her. Can you tell us a little bit about the types of students you've met since you've been here? You're clearly not the only one in your position who's been to college before.
Sure, yeah, I'd say in my classes, maybe a little over half of the students are what you would call traditional age. They're people who are here just from high school, but the other half are anywhere from 22 to 60 or even more. But what's really cool about the students here is that even the students who are fresh out of high school have really interesting and varied backgrounds. There are students whose families have fled war-torn countries. There are students from all over the world. There are students from families that have been in Maine for generations. The vast majority of students are working while they are in school, and so they have schedules that are over the place, and their backgrounds and what they bring to the class is just very rich. And part of what's really fun for me is to be peers with people of all ages and from all over the world and have conversations peer to peer, whereas what I have in my day-to-day life is I'm a mom or I'm a sister or a daughter, and it's great just to have peers.
I really love that. I feel like most of the students I talk to also work. They have families. They have a lot of other responsibilities, caring for parents, caring for others, possibly just came to this country, and juggling their schoolwork. And I think SMCC has very flexible schedules. We have day, evening, online classes. We have classes in South Portland on our Mid-Coast campus in Brunswick. And then we also have many off-site locations at local high schools and adult ed centers. So we can really bring SMCC kind of all over Southern Maine, and hopefully you can fit it into your schedule. I think is something that I find that the students have a lot to balance today. more so than before, and more so at a school like SMCC.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about when you first decided to apply here, maybe some of the things you were nervous about, or some of the things that you were concerned about before you started, and how that all worked out?
Sure. Well, the first challenge was really how do you sign up for courses? How do you enroll? I wasn't looking for a degree when I first came here. I just wanted a set of courses that would give me the skills I wanted. So I called the advising office, which is where we're sitting right now, and talked with someone who was really helpful and could give me kind of generally the sense of how to sign up, which is easy, and also steered me towards faculty members who could answer my very specific questions about which courses I needed when. And I prefer to meet one-on-one, so I met one-on-one with one of those faculty members, even though it was the summer and they weren't officially on campus. They made themselves available, and learned about a whole bunch of different pathways I could take, and she helped me figure out which was the one that made the most sense for me, and I signed up, and it was very easy to sign up.
That's great. I find that a lot as well, that people are very nervous about that first step, especially people who have not been to college before, or maybe it's been a very long time, about how it's going to be, how the admission process is, the enrolling in classes, and that we try to make it as easy as possible for all students. We have students that come from hours away, and we can do things on the phone or by Skype or email, but also can come into campus anytime, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, for one-on-one enrollment help. I do want to plug that we have an on-the-spot decision day coming up on January 8th, and that is a day will be open 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. where you can come in, take any testing you may need, apply for free, and talk to one of us about your next steps. I think that students like yourself are really looking for guidance, and then once they find out how easy it is, they wish they did it years before. They wish they didn't wait so long.
The other thing that was kind of once I got here was what I was worried about. What I was terrified about was being too old to learn, particularly since I did not grow up with a computer in front of me. I didn't start using a computer for work until I was in my 20s, and I knew that I thought that all the other students would be internet natives and would be just so much quicker than I was at anything. And they kind of were at first, and I was terrified about that. But there were other gray-haired people and people with just a few gray hairs in the class, and we helped each other. And I would express my fears to the faculty, no matter what the class was, and each and every one of them kept saying, no, you're fine. We've had lots of older people. You'll do fine. I did ask more questions than the younger students, and I felt a little embarrassed about that at first, but as it turned out, the younger students, as they got to know me, said, I'm glad you asked that
they
question.
Had the same question, exactly. They were too shy to say it.
Yes, they thought I should know that already, whereas when you come back as an older student, you're not at all embarrassed about asking questions.
Right. You're there because you're paying for it, and you're there and ready
to learn.
Absolutely. You mentioned that when you first were coming, you were thinking about just taking a couple of classes to get the skills you need, but are you deciding to stay for a degree now?
Oh yes, it didn't take me long. I was probably in my first design class, so I'm a communications and new media major, and within communications and new media, there are a lot of people studying video, there are a lot of people studying graphic design. When I took my first graphic design class, I fell in love, and I kind of shifted off I want to learn how to design an app track into graphic design, and so I signed up. I enrolled. I applied and enrolled, and I'm a matriculated student.
Great, and that process was pretty simple,
It was very simple. Having ushered my kids through much more complicated college applications, I can say that they make it easy. They want you here, and they make it easy for you to be here.
That's great. I think that next week we'll be having a Facebook Live about how easy it is to apply to SMCC. We do have a couple of questions. One is, when does the spring semester start, and when is the last day to apply? Thank you for asking that. Spring classes begin on January 14th, which is a Monday. The last day to apply, I'd love to say we want you to be enrolled by the Friday before, the 11th. We have rolling admission with no specific hard and fast deadline, but we really don't want you to start school once classes have started. It's not a good way to start off. We want you to be all set and ready to go by the week before. So there's still plenty of time, and we are running a holiday gift to you right now that you can apply for free in the month of December, and you can apply right on our website, and it's super easy. This question is for you, Liz. How has the work-life balance been for you, or have you overheard from others? How has that been for them?
It is a challenge when you're trying to put classes on top of the rest of your life. For those of us who are older, we have a different challenge because we usually have a lot of responsibilities towards other people. The younger students have responsibilities towards themselves. They're usually working. In fact, the vast majority of them are working. And learning how to balance that is a challenge, but for those of us who are older, we've learned to balance a lot of things over our lives, and it's not any different from the other balancing acts you've had to do. The younger students are figuring it out for the first time. I would say that the students I've seen who are trying to carry a full load of courses and half-time or more work are not doing well. So my recommendation is that you work less than half-time if you're doing a full load of courses, or work full-time and don't do a full load of courses.
I also feel from meeting with students that can persevere through juggling work and school, and maybe they had an illness or a loved one had an illness, or something going on in their family life, but still be able to persevere through that. Those are skills that are just going to take them so far through SMCC and then life as well. Another question is, I started school but never finished. Are those credits transferable? Have they expired? One thing I love about Southern Maine Community College is that we don't have a time limit on credits. So if you took anatomy and physiology 20 years ago or 5 years ago, it's still transferable. The grade does need to be a C or higher, and it does need to be from a regionally accredited college or university, but there is no time limit. So even if you went somewhere right out of high school, maybe didn't do so well, you went home and didn't go back, but maybe one class was a C or higher, we still want you to get us that transcript so that we can give you that class. We don't want you to have to retake a class that you've already taken. And then another question we have is there financial aid options for non-traditional age students? The majority of our students are receiving some sort of financial aid. Have you applied for financial aid since you've been here?
Yes, and I've got a student worker position here in the field that I'm studying. So in essence, I'm getting job training through my financial aid.
That's great. Filling out the FAFSA is recommended for everyone. We have a fabulous financial aid office here that could help you with your specific questions. But absolutely, and while we say we're so affordable, and we are compared to other colleges, many students still need help financially to finance their education, and there are many ways we can do that with you here at SMCC. So filling out the FAFSA is the first step. Mm-hmm. And we have another question. How is the dorm life?
I can't answer that.
Liz does not live in the dorm.
But I do know students who do. And I think it's pretty much the same as any college campus. There are kids who will be playing music late at night when you're trying to sleep or study, and there are kids who won't. And it's a communal living experience where you learn how to live with lots of people who are not like you.
Yeah, 5 of the 7 community colleges in Maine have housing, which is very unique. A lot of community colleges don't have housing. So to get that full college experience with clubs, the athletics, dorm life, I think is one thing. And plus our location here in South Portland, we're so lucky. We have 3 residence halls, 2 in South Portland and 1 on our Mid-Coast campus in Brunswick, which are these suite style apartments, which I wouldn't mind living in sometimes. Really, really nice. And there's always things to do. There's always activities going on for both residential students and non-residential students. So getting involved is absolutely the best way to make your experience even more rich. I think you were saying even working in an office.
Oh, it's been great.
I've seen you in meetings. I think that's exciting. We have work study students that work in every office on campus. You could be a student ambassador, things like that, giving tour guides. And we love having adults do that because we have so many adults come on tours. They love to see someone like themselves giving them a tour of the campus. So that's exciting as well.
There's something I want to go back to and mention when you were talking about how when the semester starts and when you need to sign up for things. SMCC also has, I think, a 5-day period at the beginning of each semester where you can try out classes, and if you decide it isn't for you, you get a full refund. And that is a great thing to have.
Yeah, that's called to add drop. So you can add or drop a class if you decide, if you take one and it's just not working for you, you can drop it and get a full refund. After that, you would have to stick with it and persevere through it. But that is important, and that's why we say we have no hard and fast deadline. You can add classes the week that classes start, but we hate to see someone miss the first class and miss some assignments. It's not a great way to start off college. We want to set you up for success.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We have another question, and I think this is for you. What is one thing you wish you knew before you started? Or some advice, maybe one tip you could give to people that are looking to start?
It was something I guessed and turned out to be true, that the people who work at SMCC, the faculty and the staff, really, really, really are here to help students succeed. And you should take advantage of it before you get here and after you get here. No matter how complicated your situation is, they will help you figure out how to navigate it to succeed here and to succeed after here. I get opportunities from faculty all the time to practice what I'm learning in the real world to build my resume. So my piece of advice is reach out to people on campus at every opportunity to expand what you can learn and where you can go.
Thank you. I think that's great. This office that we're sitting in right here is the advising office in the campus center on our South Portland campus. I would say this is always the place to go if you don't know how to do something. The folks that work here will work with you to get whatever you need, and if you're not in the right place, they will get you to the right place. And the same is true for all of the offices here at SMCC. We may not know the answer ourselves, but we're going to get you to the right place, and then of course the faculty. So I'd like to thank you for our first Facebook Live, Liz. Thank you so much. We're so excited that you're here as a student. And thank you all that tuned in to watch. We will be here same time next week on the 18th. We're going to talk about how to apply that process and how simple it is. And we will see you then.